Pope wants us to compile all of Darling's data entries from the past month.
Welcome back.
She must think he's hiding something. And I agree. The HRA's name alone are proof Darling knew more than he let on.
Janitor had a hand in this. I never trusted that freak.
The oldest house imposes certain limitations on our bureau, but by far the most restrictive is the inability to use certain technological instruments. The oldest house does not allow devices that receive or emit any blank signal. Radio waves are the only transmittable signals in the oldest house, and even those are often unreliable. If the power of collective unconscious is taken into account, it could be certain pieces of technology are too new in the cultural blank for the oldest house to blank them. Similarly, these items have not been known to become receptacles for altered status. Technology may be moving at too fast a pace for the blank to occur. Modern technology tends to disappear and break here, sometimes quite violently. Blank agents have been injured by cell phones exploding in their pockets while entering the oldest house. Objects of power are holders, 665, to our other blessing. We hold the Rain's Law. We are failing in translating hyperreal concepts. Secret instructions will be lost. Ignore this message.
That new director better not think about hitting my department with a reorg.
Dr. Darling has personally recommended Miss Pope for promotion based on her work ethic and assistance in advancing many ongoing research matters, for breakthroughs resulting from her work. According to her colleagues, Pope has displayed a keen eye for detail and a quick grasp of paranormal concepts. She is professional and diligent, though some of her coworkers complain of social disinterest. The review committee approves this recommendation and promotes Miss Pope to the position of research specialist. Collective unconscious is defined as a form of the unconscious that is shared in all human minds. From this arises unconscious knowledge linking us through our ancestral heritage. Through this collective unconscious, we unknowingly attribute a series of images and archetypes to all elements of our lives. These archetypes are never fixed, but shift and change in tandem with our species and culture. This internal belief in the power of images shared by a massive population is blank in the creation of altered items and objects of power. The sheer amount of blank exuded is attracted to the best representation of that image, imbuing a single object with massive amounts of blank. Theoretically, places of power could likewise be formed by the simple power of sustained collective belief.
Reminder, if you experience an unanticipated building shift, follow these simple steps. 1. Search the room.
Oh boy. To whom it may concern, in case you are not aware, something caused a sticky note in my office to duplicate. My office is unusable now. I'll be working from home until this is resolved. You can reach me on my cell or home phone. Sincerely, J. Bozer.
What's your read on all this?
It's bad, but we can handle it.
This is Lynn Salvador, head of Bureau Security. I'm making a formal security order due to the incident in April, case number 21HQ593. Improper use of the jukebox altered item led to 2 fatalities. We believe a pair of agents used the jukebox to travel to the quarry threshold and engage in inappropriate workplace behavior. An expedition team found them decomposing at the formation base a week later. At least we found out the jukebox doesn't bring corpses back when the song ends. I'm having the jukebox placed in a secure location in the executive sector. It should never have been accessible to low clearance staff in the first place. The new location's security and proximity to a high-traffic area will prevent misuse, while still allowing for expedition teams to access it when required. See me for any further details.
Hope's grasping at straws.
Why? If hiss is a frequency, then why couldn't it vibrate molecules in order to alter human physiology? It would explain the hair loss.
Think about it. The precision that would require is unthinkable.
Marshall knows something about Dylan. Is he here? Is he all right? HRAs first. They'll help save everyone, including Dylan, once I find him. Can you keep him safe? Like you do with me?
3 applies.
I don't think anyone's there, honey. Come on. We'll go to that motel we passed a while back.
Chair out, left, straight, right. Changed, if anything. Oh, third row.
We need to find a way to Blackrock processing. That's where Marshall said we'd find a prism.
Atlas theory. The Atlas is a physical expression created by the oldest house. Its purpose and function are currently unknown. The specific shape and dimensions of the Atlas seem to indicate a more explicit purpose than the oldest house's usual walls, floors, or shifts. The Atlas changes form but resists observation when doing so. No visual observation has been made during its change, and it only ever occurs between frames when monitored by surveillance cameras. A previous theory was that this change corresponds to the house shifts and that the Atlas is a blank of the blank itself. However, the shape changes do not occur at the same time as the building shifts, which make this theory doubtful. Structurally, the Atlas is made of the same blank material as the rest of the oldest house. Further observation will hopefully aid in discovering its purpose.
See, you're still you.
Medic, what's the damage?
They've each taken a few hits. We need to get them to a surgical station ASAP, but I don't think they're stable enough.
Have you noticed recent tension between Trench and Darling? They've both been acting odd lately. Trench concerns me the most. His sudden hostility towards Darling's project is very unlike him. He was one to approve all this Hedron research in the first place, but after Darling unveiled those HRAs, he was livid. I personally don't see any reason to not equip Bureau staff with an additional protective device, especially not if it's as strong as Darling says. What do you make of this? Have you seen anything from either of them that strikes you as odd? Let's talk in person soon before the next Bureau heads meeting.
Oh yeah? Well, they're gonna have to be. Because we are moving out and I am not leaving them behind. Now do what you need to do. Hey, thanks for bringing down that... whatever the fuck that was. But we are barely holding on here, boss. How's the situation outside maintenance?
What do I tell him? The truth is harsh, but these people seem familiar with death.
The hiss are everywhere. Most of the Bureau is lost. We need Blackrock Prism to make more HRAs for any survivors in the safe rooms. I'm here to check Darling's Blackrock lab.
So to recap, death, disaster, and imminent destruction. Another day at the FBC. But Darling's lab is just past Blackrock processing. I got good news and I got bad news on that front. Good news is, it's right down the hall. Bad news is, a hiss monster has decided to move in, so that's great.
Monster.
That's what the Rangers said. The ones that survived, anyway. We are just treading water here, and the hiss keep coming. Salvador would know what to do, but apparently he took a security team into the containment sector just before the lockdown happened, and, well, no one's seen him since. But hey, at least we got you, our fearless leader.
They shouldn't rely on me. They don't know me. They don't know how I failed people.
You've done a good job here, Arish, but you should take your people and get to the base and executive. You can regroup there. I'll go deal with this monster. I'm getting kind of used to them.
Aye, aye, Faden. And be sure to put a bullet in that thing for me.
Ranger Squad Charlie 7 returned from an expedition into the quarry threshold just after 0500 Zulu. Can you please state your names and describe the purpose of your expedition?
Kevin Horowitz, Rupert Love. Our mission was to map
Medic,
quarry
what's the
grid
damage?
coordinates
They've each
G29.
taken a few hits.
Secondary
We need to get them to a
objective,
surgical
as
station
always,
ASAP,
was to
but I don't
find
think
a
they're
route
stable enough
from
to
the
move.
threshold entrance and maintenance
They're
to
gonna have to be.
formation.
Because we are moving out and I
Secondary
am not
objective
leaving
was
behind.
not a success.
Now do what you need to do.
What a surprise.
And did you encounter any previously unrecorded event or entity while inside the threshold?
No, nothing. Do you think we should talk about the mermaid?
Excuse me?
Yeah, the mermaid. Horowitz here found this mermaid in the quarry, just sitting on some black rock.
I'm
She
not
was
doing
singing
so
this beautiful
hot.
song.
You're
and
fine.
He was overcome
We'll
with
push through
desire.
this. The hiss are the ones doing the pushing, Doc.
I'd say she was more enchanting than alluring.
Fine, enchanting.
Did you tell your CO about this?
No, because it didn't happen.
Nothing happened. As usual, the quarry is full of rocks. That's it. Can we go now?
Fuck you guys. Get out of here.
Hey, remember the deal. You kill a hiss, I buy a shot. Bottom shelf home.
Arish wasn't kidding about that monster.
Swan boat. Item is made of fiberglass painted to resemble a swan. Foot pedals allow the item to propel forward in water. The item emits a pulse of physical force at an estimated force of blank, possible connection to OOP5. Measuring the exact force created by the item has been hindered by concerns from the Human Resources Department. The item was seized from an activity rental service called Blank, located on Lake Blank on Vancouver Island, Canada, after it ejected numerous riders over the course of the summer, bringing the boat to the attention of the media. The item was transported to the Bureau by helicopter. A containment specialist accompanied it, sent it to recite Formula C9 through 32 recursively. What occurred in the helicopter is not known, but all agents were lost in the crash. The item was recovered and then transported by train. It arrived at the Bureau without further incident. Am I going to be fighting a swan boat?
You showed me the HRA when I first got here, and the machine that makes them. Can you help me find a prism? Shit! What the fuck? Let's hurry up and find Darling's lab.
Hiss distorted agents are able to render themselves invisible and emit a powerful concussive blast when in close range of their target. Curiously, the Hiss distorted is apparently not able to utilize both abilities at once. It must make itself visible when it goes on the offensive. The Hiss distorted is unique to the fact that it wields a paranatural ability previously unknown to the Bureau, perhaps tapping into a yet undiscovered object of power. How does this invisibility work? Does the distorted become resonance temporarily? Does it use Hiss resonance to refract light? The physical deformation of this particular Hiss entity is noteworthy in its thoroughness. Clearly the human host would have died from such extreme alteration. Which prompts the question, are the corrupted simply animated corpses?
Conditions. When frequencies match, other dimensions leak in. We call these areas thresholds. The quarry is one of the more stable thresholds in the maintenance sector. That's where black rock comes from.
You heard that too, right? Black rock comes from a threshold quarry. So, the prisms must be there too.
Our research involves many dangerous things we absolutely need to keep in check. That's what the Black Rock Line fire breaks are about. The panopticon container cells.
Sorry to interrupt, sir, but I need the code for the quarry elevator.
Oh, Emily. The codes. Black Rock 665. Neighbor of the Beast. Get it? We can do that again.
Darwin's key. This should get us into the quarry.
Black Rock has allowed the Bureau to make great strides in containment procedures since it was first discovered. This report will examine how its very structures comprise of blank density that nullifies all resonances within a range of blank to blank hertz. Bureau innovations that incorporate Black Rock will be analyzed, most notably the fire breaks, feats of engineering designed to contain any future outbreaks, attacks, or other internal threats. The goal of this report is to encourage Bureau staff to explore further innovations using Black Rock, as work in that field has markedly slowed down in recent years.
There are areas in the oldest house where, under the right conditions, when the frequencies match, other dimensions leak in. We call these areas thresholds. The quarry is one of the more stable thresholds in the maintenance sector. That's where Black Rock comes from. Extra-dimensional matter. It has the unique property of blocking out a lot of frequencies. A good thing. It keeps things stable, contained. Think of it as paranatural lead. Our research involves many dangerous things we absolutely need to keep in check. That's what the Black Rock Line fire breaks are about. The panopticon container cells.
Sorry to interrupt, sir, but I need the code for the quarry elevator.
Oh, Emily. The codes. Black Rock 665. Neighbor of the Beast. Get it? We can do that again if you...
Everything here is crazy. Weird, but it feels right. Like how the world should be. I am in an infinite building leading to different dimensions, and I never want to leave. Even with all the horror, I'm happy. It feels sane. It's the right kind of cleansing. This key. This should get us into the quarry.
NSC. The NSC was designed by order of Deputy Chief Trench and shortly before he became director. The container provides a safe method of extraction of Blank's excess energy output while acting as a humane way to house him. The coolant pumps keep the container and its Blank from overheating while the energy is siphoned. The energy is then conducted to the converters, where it is rendered into a Blank through the use of turbine generators. The electricity produced powers the entire Bureau, making us completely self-sufficient and effectively invisible on the New York City grid. After NSC-01's disappearance by some unknown manifestation of Blank's power, the occupant was restrained and a second model was built. NSC-02 possesses built-in spatial anchors that are designed to prevent any translocative effects from its occupant.
Elevator's broken. Gotta get down the old-fashioned way.
Okay, there's a lot of area here. This goes down back to the furnace chamber. Okay. Probably should have kept this way.
Darling's key. This should get us into the quarry.
We need additional diamond blades ASAP. Continuous rim this time to get the clean cut research wants. This black rock shit is tough. We're going through blades like we're made of the damn things. like we're made of the damn things. The dimensions for these slabs of black rock they want are outrageous. For all the grief they're causing me, these fire breaks better fucking work a treat. Go ahead and double the last order.
Not what I expected.
All Bureau personnel are reminded kindly to not smoke in the quarry. Even though the quarry area is technically an outdoor space, it is still part of the Bureau, and therefore no smoking rule does apply. Not only is it considerate towards your fellow employees to refrain from inflicting the harm of secondhand smoke, it is also prudent to avoid any risk of gas fires, unforeseen threshold reactions, and possible creation of altered receptacles. Under no circumstances should cigarette butts be left in the quarry. Thank you for your understanding. Okay. During my weekly safety inspections to the quarry threshold, I discovered the entire crew in a state of blank. The whole team was blank, aligned and staring in a uniform direction, the city in the distance. Despite my most vocal efforts to gain their attention, they remained blank for more than blank minutes until I had to resort to literally blank. Afterwards, they were dazed and could not provide any rationale for their behavior or any specific memories of engaging in it. My official recommendation for any crew working in a threshold area is to either shorten the length of their shifts or to carry out mandatory psychological evaluations on a weekly basis, or preferably both. And maybe we should order another expedition to the city.
And there it is, right where you led me. The HRAs, the prisms, they mean something to you. I need to get this prism to Marshall before it's too late. HRAs, then Dylan.
It's ridiculous. Pope's grasping at straws.
Why? If hiss is a frequency, then why couldn't it vibrate molecules in order to alter human physiology? It would explain the hair loss.
Think about it. The precision that would require is unthinkable.
Had to take a detour into the quarry, but I found plenty. Here.
We will start HRA production immediately. I promised I'd tell you about Dylan once you helped us.
This is it. She knows. 17 years I've waited.
Your brother is here. He was once known as Prime Candidate 6, codenamed P6. We brought him here after the Ordinary event. He was groomed to be the future director. He had talents far beyond any other candidate in the program.
Of course he did. We found you together. We share a bond. Are you with him now?
So you kidnapped him?
We took him in. Your parents vanished along with every other adult in Ordinary. Eventually, his power changed him. There were casualties. He wasn't fit to be the director.
Did you know about this? Is this why you didn't bring me here sooner? Were you keeping me away?
Where is Dylan?
He's kept in the containment sector, in the Panopticon.
My brother. I thought we were the same. What if we are?
I'm going. Now.
I expected as much. I need to go check on something. Something I cannot let the hiss find. It shouldn't take long, but you must watch the Bureau while I'm gone. And remember, Dylan is dangerous. Do not let him out, Director Faden.
How do I make her stop calling me that? I'm not here for them. Nothing simple here. These people took my brother, but they've accepted me without question. Are they my enemies or my friends? I need to see Dylan. I need to know. I wish you could tell me what you know, explain things. Just stay with me, okay? I could use a friend right now.
Situation report. All sectors.
Executive is in the process of being fortified, as per your orders. Maintenance is relatively stable.
Threshold. Certain resources, loot, can be constructed, crafted into mods forms. We advocate facilitate this by control points menus. This will only be available exclusive for the director.
A security employee named Arish has apparently prevented multiple key locations from being taken by the kids.
Alright, let's get the shield one. Two more. Better shield. And I want to throw people at people. Launch large.
Search is overrun. A small team currently holding the HRA.
Get rid of that one.
Containment is
reference?
Let's see.
Mr. Hedron? There's something we're missing.
Expedition purposes. Guess I probably can't open that. Nope.
No hiss followed you in, right?
Area's under quarantine. I wouldn't go in there without talking to Underhill first. Even if you have, I still wouldn't go in.
Excuse me? Are you lost? Do you normally barge into people's private workspaces?
She clearly doesn't know who she's talking to.
Shouldn't you be in a safe room? Why? Because of those hiss things the Rangers keep going on about. Haven't you people sorted that out yet? The situation down here could spell doom for the Bureau.
You mean this mold?
Correct. Perhaps you could help me. I require samples of various mold strains, and the mold has made the environment far too dangerous for me to fetch them myself.
Really? Mold samples? I thought this could spell doom.
It could, and it will, whoever you are. The mold is spreading. We need to find the source before it spreads too far.
And these samples will do that?
No. Samples of 5 unique strains, when blended properly, will allow you to travel deeper into the pit where I've pinpointed the approximate location of the source of the mold.
Okay. So what do these samples look like?
Similar to the one on my table there. I've made a list of the samples I need. Here. You'll find them throughout the threshold.
I'll take a look. My name's Jessie, by the way.
I'm sure it is.
Have you worked at the FBC very long?
Not long enough to understand their inane methodology. They want me to solve the mold, but how is one to solve anything when the basic molecular structure of this fungus is an utter enigma?
Oh, sorry, are you asking me?
It's rhetorical. The Bureau wants to control, not comprehend. But to answer your question, I'm a seasoned threshold researcher that's been brought in on a provisional basis to resolve this matter.
That's all you had to say. What have you learned about the mold?
Firstly, the term mold is a gross oversimplification used only to ease communication. That said, the mold itself appears to be the product of complex microorganisms. They spin the mold, building structures like minuscule cities, swiftly colonizing our dimension, and the speed of these tiny engineers relative to their size is simply staggering.
So it grows fast.
If you're not going to listen, then why did you ask?
So the mold is coming in from... where?
We don't have a name for the threshold dimension. The origin point has been identified, but the density of the fungus makes it impossible to enter. Even if we could, I speculate that we would only find a reality entirely subsumed by the fungus. Total decomposition.
It's weird how excited she is, right? What do you know about the hiss?
How could I know anything about an entity I've only just learned of? This is exactly the Bureau's problem. My work is always interrupted by these these superfluous matters.
Calm down. Just keep your HRA on and I'm sure you'll be fine.
This crude thing. I thought it was Darling's idea of a practical joke.
Not quite. Just keep your head down while I handle the hiss. I need to get going.
Try not to transport any spores outside the infected areas.
Dr. Darling's recently penned essay titled Blank contains some glaring omissions that I feel I must shine a light on. Firstly, the entire premise of the essay is that the quarry threshold is beneficial to the Bureau while the mold is actively hostile, to use his words. We cannot determine the worth of these dimensions and their life forms using bureaucratic definitions. Secondly, the mold is much more beneficial than some rock. If the blank creating the mold were reconfigured in their purpose, the structures they could build would rival the greatest skyscrapers. The mold's resistance to various strains of disease we've attempted to introduce could be derived into blank. Yes, admittedly, the application is more difficult than picking up a rock and gluing it to a wall, but I pause to wonder when the Bureau lost its eagerness for a challenge. So you want to know how my mold research is getting on, Casper? Here it is. Microscopic organisms, similar in appearance to blank, construct the architecture of the mold. I do not understand if these blank are the original disseminators of the mold or bitten by some fungal infection. The mold is the most prolific and durable organism I've ever seen. I theorize there is a mold source located somewhere on our side of the threshold, rooted here to accelerate growth in our dimension. I refer to this yet unknown source as Mold 1. The mold produces an enticing aroma to encourage human consumption of itself. It propagates in the chest cavity and quickly subsumes the entire body, seizing control of motor functions. This behavior was not observed when I first arrived, which means the mold has adapted to our presence, targeting our biological imperatives as a way to spread. It is a truly ingenious little thing. A full report will be ready soon. Keep your slacks on. Hello, Rhea. How's it going down there? Enjoying the mold so far? Settling back into life at the old FBC? I also wanted to ask how your coffee with Emily went. She's a star on the rise, incredibly bright, extremely intuitive. But I want to hear what you thought of her. I think you two could be very good on a project together, could learn a lot from each other. Let's get together and chat about it soon. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. I'm sure you can't think of anything besides the mold right now. You always were a woman of focus. I always admired that about you. Talk soon, Casper.
This work won't finish itself. Or perhaps it might.
So sweet down here. Suddenly I'm really hungry. I wonder how this mold tastes.
Agents noticed a transient commonly found outside the entrance of the Bureau headquarters would carry the item and loudly claim to be responsible for the lack of inclement weather. The frequency of these claims attracted the personal interest of Dr. Darling. In interviews disguised as casual conversations, the transient reported that the item gives me clouds when it's hot and sun when it's not. An event of note occurred during a heavy downpour when the vagrant was witnessed performing a possible ritual with the item. Dr. Darling reported a wait of blank seconds before the rain stopped. The vagrant was seized the next day. After blank, he was found to possess no blank and was released. The item remains in Bureau custody under suspicion of altered status, though this still has not been proven. All known variations of the identification formulas have failed to elicit response from the item.
Are those people?
Ugh. Okay, I don't think I'm ready for down here yet.
multi-dimensional research. Every measure of security.
It's big ass maze. Spin. If I can't figure out how to get there. To the hypnosis lab. Darling, here. Some of you were curious why I had these sensory deprivation tanks installed. I thought I'd shed some light on the subject. Maybe some of you have heard of a Dr. Yomishi Takui. the man behind the hugely popular guided imagery experience tapes. Apparently his tapes go beyond the normal meditative quality of such things, but create genuine hallucinatory visions in some listeners, or so the reports say. We brought these tanks in to test Dr. Takui's tapes for ourselves. Plus, there may be some stress-relieving uses for the staff down the road. I think we could all benefit from some time in a dark, enclosed space, don't you? If you have any more questions, feel free to stop by my office. You know where it is.
I'm averse to using objects of power. I don't want to lean on things I ultimately can't trust. But the ashtray and the cigarette, smoking there forever, have their uses. The ashtray maze they conjure is an impossibly changing labyrinth that no one but the binder, and those the binder invites, can ever pass through. The things we hid in dimensional research, the things Darling studies, the danger and the risk involved, call for every measure of security and protection I could bring to the table. The maze, hands down, is our strongest lock. I gave Darling and his chosen crew license to pass through the maze. Lately, I've started to think I should revoke that license.
This should be interesting.
イメージの世界を体験しましょう。早速始めましょう。Welcome to my guided imagery experience. レッスン1、森との戯れ。Exercise 1, the forest of positive interaction.
私は徳井義美博士。私を信じて任せてください。
My name is Dr. Yoshimi Tokui. Trust my words. I'm here for you.
目を閉じて心を開いてください。あなたは浜辺に一人佇んでいます。誰もいない静かな浜辺。
Close your eyes, open your mind, and find yourself on an empty beach.
さざ波の音が聞こえ、遠くにカモメが見えます。ポテトチップスの袋をつついてますね。
The waves are rolling in, and the seagulls are fighting over a discarded bag of potato chips.
ハラペーニョ味のようです。
I believe they're jalapeno flavored.
沖の方に何か見えます。森が海の上に浮かんでいます。
I see something in the middle of the ocean. They appear to be trees.
もしかしたら人を遠ざけようとする今のあなたの気持ちを暗示しているのかもしれません。
Perhaps they are ocean trees. Or perhaps they are metaphors for how you push people away.
それが何なのか一緒に探してみましょう。波の方に近づいてみてください。
Let's find out together. Just walk over the waves, friend.
森は寂しそうです。話しかけてみませんか？
The trees look lonely. Why don't you talk to them?
森にささやきかけましょう。あなたは愛されるに値すると、誰もが愛されるに値すると、森もうなずいています。
You whisper to the trees. You tell them that they deserve love, that everyone deserves love. The trees agree.
木々は健康になり、お互いに愛を育んでいくのでしょう。
They will now go on to form healthy, respectful relationships with other trees or shrubs, whatever they prefer.
さあ、森をそっとしておいてあげましょう。
Now let's leave these trees to their love.
覗き見は失礼ですからね。
Voyeurism is
お
impolite.
や、何か不穏なものを感じます。何でしょう？
I sense a disturbance in our love garden. A menace.
行ってみましょう。森の危機かもしれません。行ってみましょう。
Go find it. Do not let it darken our forest of emotions.
フォークリフトです。この森にはふさわしくありません。巨大なタイヤでビーチが荒らされてしまいます。
A forklift. It does not like the tree's romance. It is ruining our lovely beach with its hateful tires.
なんということでしょう。機械を止めてください。あのカモメには家族がいます。
It ran over one of the gulls. Such bloodshed. Turn off the machine. That gull had a family.
さっきのポテトチップスはお腹に赤ちゃんがいる奥さんへのプレゼントでした。あの機械を止めなければ。
The potato chips were for his pregnant wife. The forklift must be stopped. You did it. The murderous machine will kill no more. The trees can love undisturbed.
フォークリフトも孤独な木々ももうありません。あなたの心は安らぎと慈愛に満たされているはずです。
Our beach is no place for forklifts or lonely trees. Your mind is a safe haven for love.
心が穏やかに健康になった感じはありますか？
Doesn't that feel nice? Aren't you feeling healthier?
さて、もう時間のようです。感受性の豊かなあなたのままで来てください。
Oh my, it seems we're all out of time. Stay receptive, friend.
That actually was relaxing. And strangely insightful. I see it. Another object of power? They're just standing there, mesmerized by it.
state your name for the record.
Paul Warren, astronaut, first class.
And you are aware that exposure to the astral plane can result in death, disability, personal injury, corporeal untangling, cognitive collapse, loss of ego, and partial to full dementia?
Yeah. I am.
And you acknowledge that your use of the astral conduit, aka the X-ray light box, is purely voluntary?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Your suit is good? Okay, you're all set. Open the door for Mr. Warren, please.
Psychic occupation.
Their brains were fried when I took over the object.
Oops. The object is a light box used to examine X-ray images. The image cannot be removed from the light box. The information on the image belongs to a patient named Blank. The object allows para-utilitarians to forcefully seize an individual's blank. The seized individual becomes blank to the user. The effect lasts blank. Once released, the seized blank as a result of the psychic trauma. The object has no binder. A janitor named Blank bound the object at St. Anne's Hospital in Blank. Soon the building's occupants were Blank by him. Bureau dispatched an emergency response team to Blank, the perpetrator, and Blank, the item. Fatalities numbered in the blank. motel. More energy. Thank you for the file. It was very helpful. I've re-archived it with the BlackRock research in case you need to refer to them again. Yes, the video shoots were always interesting. I expect my availability for those to decrease in the future. However, as my analysis of this newly discovered BlackRock variant is reaching a critical point, I hope you will be able to attend them still. Darling seems to be under a lot of pressure lately. I'm sure he would appreciate any support you can provide. Regarding the analysis you provided, I do not have any questions. Thank you for the expeditious delivery. Regards, Research Specialist Dr. Carla Vaughn.
Embracing the erratic, an audio journey. This must be one of those sensory tank tapes.
Obsessive-compulsive disorder, hoarding, anxiety disorders. While certain manifestations of these conditions are simply the result of mental illness, sometimes individuals are simply performing blank called rituals. The blank of rituals can vary. Numerology, dream logic, forfeiture, verbal formulae, repetitive action, and casual tethering are just some of the procedures involved. Some rituals are consistent, such as pulling the light switch cord 3 times to enter the motel, but some are erratic. While most people engage in minor rituals every day, the vast majority do not understand the importance behind their actions. Avoiding disaster, amassing luck, or simply locating lost keys are all the results of daily rituals. Individuals who recognize a deeper meaning behind these compulsive actions are inherently aware of the paranatural world and, when located, should be considered for employment at the Bureau.
Embracing the erratic. Cardio journey. What is this for?
Welcome to my guided imagery experience. レッスン2気まぐれを受け入れるです。Exercise 2 Embracing the erratic.
私は徳井義美博士。私を信じて任せてください。
My name is Dr. Yoshimi Tokui. Trust my words. I'm here for you.
目を閉じて心を開いてください。想像してみてください。あなたは閑散とした浜辺にいます。
Now, close your eyes, open your mind, and find yourself on a deserted beach.
波が岩に打ち寄せ、カモメたちが旋回しながら近づいてきます。
The waves are crashing against the rocks, and the gulls are circling overhead, drawing ever closer.
カモメたちが怖いですか？大丈夫。彼らは危害を加えません。
Are you scared of birds? If so, please try not to be.
自動販売機があります。あなたは喉が渇いています。
Look, a vending machine. You must be thirsty.
さあ、渇きを潤しに行きましょ
う。Let us go quench your thirst.
あなたのお気に入りのソーダがあります。ボタンを押してみましょう。
They have your favorite soda. You know the one. Press the button.
自動販売機が逃げていきます。追いかけてください。
The machine has run off with your favorite soda. Chase it.
さあ頑張って。あれはあなたが世界で一番好きな飲み物です。
Fight for it. This is your favorite soda in the whole world.
人を殺してでも手に入れる、それくらい好きなはずです。急いで走ってください。
The soda you kill a man for. Hurry, run! Soda!
ソーダが出てきました。やった。
The soda tumbles out. Victory!
あ、ちょっと待ってください。これは違う種類です。
But wait, it's not the right kind.
いや、このソーダを試してみましょう。
I guess you have to try something new.
きっと気に入るはずです。
Go on. You might like it.
美味しいですよね。新しいお気に入りができました。
How delicious. This is your new favorite soda.
新しいものに挑戦するときこそ人生の一番素敵な部分を発見できます。
When you try new things, you sometimes discover the best of life has to offer.
それがソーダのレッスンです。
That's a soda lesson for you.
今度は別の自意識に目を向けてみましょう。
Ah, another personal realization awaits.
走ってください。運動することは良いことです。
Hurry over. Run. Exercise is good for you.
死体です。いつもだったらとてもびっくりしますよね。
It's a dead person. This would normally be quite an upsetting thing to find, yes?
心配しないで。あなたは安全です。
Do not worry. You are safe.
ちょっと死体に触ってみませんか？
Why don't you try touching the dead person?
面白いことが起きるかもしれません。
It could be interesting.
なんてことだ。死体がたくさん出てきました。どこから来たんでしょう？
Oh, merciful gods. Dozen of more corpses appeared. Where did they come from?
ひどい匂いです。恐ろしい。ここはもう今までの浜辺ではありません。
Oh, the stench. The horror. This beach will never be the same.
なんで死体になんて触ったんですか？はあ、最悪の間違いを犯しましたね。
Why did you touch the dead person? You made a grave mistake.
死体を隠して間違いを正してください。
Fix your mistake by hiding it.
死体を埋めて腐敗した心をきれいにしてください。
Bury these bodies. Clean your mind of the rot.
恐ろしい体験でしたね。でもまた一つ学びました。
That was scary, wasn't it? And yet, you learned another lesson.
怖いものには理由があります。
You're scared of some things for a reason.
本能に耳を傾けて、世界は気まぐれで冷たいという事実を認めてください。
Listen to your instincts. Accept that the world is random and cold.
恐怖は役に立つものです。
Fear is useful.
たくさんの学びがありました。良い学びも悪い学びも。
Lots of good lessons today. Some things are good, some are bad.
少しは人生の残酷さに対処できると思いません
Don't you
か？
feel more prepared for uncaring cruelty of life?
私はできるようになりました。
I know I do.
これでセラピーを終わります。
This concludes my guided imagery therapy.
あなたは徳井義美博士に認められました。これでこの荒れ狂う世界を探検できるはずです。
You are now approved by Dr. Yoshimi Tokui to explore this rotating rock we call Earth.
幸運を祈ります。歩みを止めず旅を続けてください。徳井義美でした。
Good luck, Star Wanderer. Stay actualized. And see you next time.
Yeah, I'm Jesse fucking Faden.
The importance
You're
of
the
synergy.
best, Dr. Yoshimi.